Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. Excuse me a second, I've just noticed my glasses are extremely dirty. Sorry, it is very early in the morning and I'm not usually filming this early. So I'm not properly with it, to be brutally honest with you. Ugh. I still actually have my morning coffee. Just missed a bit, just there. There you go. That'll be okay. So, protest photography tips. Why don't we start with a little bit of an introduction? My name is Alex. I've been a protest photographer or a photojournalist in a way, I suppose you could say, for about 5 years now. I've been covering protest for, that long. Jesus, I've covered lots and lots of different protests. Over the last 2 years, I've covered BLM, I've covered anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers, anti-lockdowns. I covered the Sarah Everard protests a few months ago. I've covered Anonymous and yeah. So, protest photography tips. Why don't we start with a little bit of an introduction? My name is, of course, Alex. I am a protest photographer. That's what I call myself. Some people would probably call me a photojournalist, but I don't consider myself a photojournalist. Don't think I'm good enough yet, but hey ho. So, over the last 5 years, I've gained some experience and I thought I would bring that experience into a few little tips for you. Just for you. Because I like you guys so much. And I've got them written down here on my phone and I'm going to read them out to you. Because I can't read from a script and you really expect me to remember all of that? Do you really think I'm that good? No, I'm not. So lenses. Lenses in this instant don't really matter to an extent. There are two really, really good lenses that you should probably get if you can. And that is the 24 to 105 and the 70 to 200. What f-stop they are is completely down to you. It doesn't really matter. But what you want is something nice and wide-ish and something telephoto, because you're going to want that compression and you're going to want that tele reach. Just reach. This doesn't feel right. You're going to want that extra zoom. And believe me, you will want that extra reach of that zoom lens. You just will. It's really nice to have. But try and keep your lens selection nice and small because carrying a lot of glass is obviously heavy and you don't really want that. You don't really want to be carrying a lot of glass. So this next one is actually one of my favorites. Learn to walk backwards. Yes, learn to walk backwards. You will soon learn to have eyes in the back of your head and you will learn to walk backwards. It's just one of them skills that you kind of pick up as a protest photographer. You learn to walk backwards because you need to keep moving with the protest. But if you're facing the other way, you can't get the shot. You're just going to see people. You're just going. You get what I mean? It's not really going to work. So, learn to walk backwards. Try not to fall over though. The amount of times that I've actually fallen over is, about 4 times I've fallen over. It's quite embarrassing because you're there with your camera, you're looking all professional, you're getting the shot, whoop, over you go. Now, in some cases it can kick off, whether that be within the protest or whether that be protesters versus the police or protesters versus protesters or whatever. A lot of the time it can kick off to a certain extent. A lot of photographers, not all of them, will be trying to push you out of the way to get that shot. And I've experienced that firsthand. It's not nice, but it is something that does happen that I've experienced myself. So watch out for that. Really do watch out for that because you might get hurt. But equally, if you are just trying to get a shot as well, just say, excuse me, I need to get this shot, or it's just, excuse me, please, can I get through? Just be polite and be nice. Just be a nice person. It's too early for me. And remember, you are there to capture what you see, not what you think. At all. You are there to capture what is going on, not what you think is going on. You need to show people not in a good light, but in the right light. So as I said, I've covered anti-vax protesters before, and I've covered BLM, and also when you are covering either one of these protests. You are there to cover the protests. Now, you are entitled to your own opinion. Everyone is. You may disagree with what they are protesting about, and that is okay. That's totally fine. Really is. As a matter of fact, I always feel it's better to go to a protest that you disagree with. Which sounds kind of counterintuitive because, anyway, go to a protest and just show as much as you can in the right light. Not right wing, not left wing, just showing the facts. So, for an example, if a protester throws a bottle at police, show that picture if you have it. Or if the police, for example, instigate some sort of fight, show that, document that. That's what you are there for. But also keep yourself safe. Not everyone agrees with journalists and photographers and stuff like that. And that's fine. They don't agree with it. Not everyone agrees with the press. Not everyone agrees. And that's fine. So you need to keep yourself safe. If you feel as if the area is getting too dangerous for you, just leave. Just flat out leave. Don't risk it. Whether that be from police or from the protesters themselves. I've had times of when I've had to hide from protesters to an extent. It does happen. Rarely. It rarely happens, but it does happen. It does. Because not everyone agrees with how some media outlets portray certain groups. So, yeah. Try your best not to take it personally. It's nothing personal against you. It's just they don't like the media as a whole. And wear comfy stuff. Don't wear something that's going to hold you back or limit your movement to be able to reach for your equipment, your bag, or whatever you may need. Just keep it lightweight and waterproof if necessary. But always carry an umbrella, especially if you're here in the UK. Always. Even if it's like the middle of summer, carry an umbrella. You will need one. You just will. And now, probably one of the most important things is batteries. Batteries, 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 batteries. Bring lots of batteries with you. If you have a camera that has at least 2 batteries, bring it. Bring them. Make sure they're charged and bring them. 9 times out of 10, you probably won't need that spare battery. But just in case. If you have spare batteries, you can pick up third-party batteries for a lot of cameras these days. Extremely cheap. As a matter of fact, the battery that is in this camera is a third-party battery, and that's fine. If you want to spend more money on first-party batteries, so if you have a Canon, going to Canon and being like, hey, I want a new battery, sure, go and give all that money to Canon. But if you don't and you want to save some money, go third-party. They won't be as good as the Canon ones, and they probably won't last as long, but they will get you them shots that you need. Bring a spare battery. I'm running out of coffee. Now, I know that this sounds a bit counterintuitive, what I'm about to say, but you'll need to move around a lot, but also wait for that shot. Sometimes waiting for a shot is worth it. Just sitting there and being like, I can get this shot, I can get this shot. Wait there about 2 minutes. After about 2, maybe 5 minutes, move on. It is not worth it. After 5 minutes, it is definitely not worth it. Just move on and go and get another shot. Because that time that you're wasting waiting for that one shot, you could have got lots of others. But also, as I said, move around a lot. Try and stay in front of the protest. That's my main objective, is to try and stay in front of the protest. I usually fail that though. I think I've usually succeeded about twice with staying in front of a protest. But other than that, it's not worked. I've usually ended up either at the back or halfway through or 3 miles down the road. It's happened. I've genuinely lost a protest and had to ask a police officer which way they went. So, yeah. And last but not least, travel light. Now, I did touch on this earlier on, but it's true. Travel light. Don't bring 5 lenses and 15 batteries and 4 camera bodies and a tripod and a gimbal and this and that. You don't need it. Trust me, you don't. I've made that mistake of bringing half a ton of equipment that you don't need. I'm due to make a video soon about what camera gear I take and what camera gear I use. So if you want to see what I take with me, subscribe and I'll see you in that video. 9 times out of 10, you will need 2 camera bodies, 2 batteries for each camera, maybe 2 lenses, and a battery bank, and maybe some other little bits and pieces, but that's about it. Travel light, because you will be on your feet all day. And by the time you get home, you will be shattered. You will be. You will be absolutely shattered from it. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.